And as some shoppers reduce their spending on clothes, although U.S. retail sales did go up, Walmart is rolling out a new tool that it hopes will nudge them towards clicking the buy button. Starting this week, customers can use a virtual try-on tool to see how a shirt or a blouse or other clothing item would look on their own bodies. It's the latest feature that the company has added to its website because of the acquisition of Z-Kit, which is a virtual fitting room startup. Mayowa is a senior associate at Financial Derivatives Company Limited, and she joins us to discuss further. Mayowa, you're welcome. Good morning to you. Let's start with Star Alliance. What do you make of them wanting to get more of their members using facial recognition technology and biotech stuff?
Oh, hello, Rotis. Thank you for having me. First of all, I think it's a great initiative. Like you mentioned, they're only taking a cue from consumers' demand for contactless service. And then when you look at the system by implementing, this is the first time they're actually having a specific target. And then when you look at this system, it would actually help to reduce processing time from baggage, check-in to security and all of that. And so I think it's a step in the right direction. They would only be going in line with what we have private companies in the space are doing, where they have dedicated lines ahead of security for their users. So I think it's them adopting technology, moving with the times. I think it's a good step. It's a step in the right direction.
Great. So we saw those images of video on screen with the gentleman there. The upgrades. Do you think that airlines can manage these tech upgrades and at whatever costs it would come with that?
Well, actually, I actually think that they would, and when you actually look at it, I think airports are already adopting this system already, and then look at the major benefits. It's actually going to help them cut processing time and actually cost, right? And so when you look at it, there's actually been already research studies and all of that. A Lufthansa A380 or so flight would actually implemented the use of the biometric system, actually cuts down boarding time to 20 minutes. And a company that actually implements biometric technology, Visionbox, actually mentioned that a 400 passenger plane can actually board passengers in 20 minutes, reducing, that's like nearly half the time of the normal time of boarding, right? And so if you look at it, it's actually going to help them to cut down processing time and even their costs, and it'll help them to be more efficient. And then when you look at it, the benefits would far outweigh the cost, and invariably they are saving costs. So I actually think that we'll see more airports and airlines adopt this system in coming years.
All right, so Lufthansa's, they're in the West, right? So they're advanced and all that. We have, you and I having this conversation in a developing nation. Can this one day be a global standard, and can airlines and airports in developing nations like where we are reach that standard over time?
Well, there are particular factors that would determine how fast different airports in different regions actually adopt the biometric technology. If, for instance, we have different regions having different privacy rules, and also there's a lack of expertise and technical infrastructure in different parts of the world, right? And so in developing nations like Nigeria, where we actually lack the required infrastructure and experts. Well, not expertise, because we have brilliant tech people in our nation who are exporting tech experts, really.
Exactly.
But it's the infrastructure that is more of the issue and policy and all. But then I think that developing nations would have to catch up with what's happening globally, especially when you look at how biometric technology is actually a very, very important factor in security. After the 9/11 incident in the U.S., we had the U.S. Custom and Border Agency actually adopt biometric technology to help secure the airports even more. And so with more of this, we would see developing nations actually adopt this technology, probably not as fast as developed nations, but as time goes on, they would also adopt it.
Great stuff. Now, outside aviation, if we can extend this conversation outside the aviation, facial recognition tech, biotechnology, and such for identity, can you see it scaling to banks, hospitals, nightclubs, I don't know, wherever you're going to line up together, I don't know, supermarkets, can it scale?
Definitely, especially when we look at finance, it's already scaling.
Right.
Last year, ADIB was the first bank in the UAE to adopt the facial recognition system for opening accounts. And then we have banks like Chase, HSBC that have already adopted the Apple Face ID for mobile banking apps. And then in China, we have Alipay, WeChat Pay that actually also use facial recognition in their POS devices. And then we come to Africa, Nigeria, we have Access Bank that has Face Pay. I think that was launched in 2020.
Right.
And so when we look at the finance space, it's picking up, right? Finances, I think, is one of the industries that has adopted technology at a very, very fast pace. And then supermarkets also picking up. Even the sports, World Cup security in Qatar 2020, it said that there will be about over 15,000 cameras that have already been integrated with facial recognition systems in it to actually watch out for terrorists and threats. And so we're seeing it in different sectors, different parts of the world. So it's picking up steam in different areas.
As far as, let's now hop to Indonesia and this investigation of Alphabet. What do you think of their position as far as them thinking that there's possible abuse here?
I don't think that they're wrong, first of all, because when we look at the story, Google is going to be charging between 15 to 30%. And previously, these apps were being charged 5%. That's a gap, right? And so Indonesia has a fast-growing digital economy. So it only makes sense that the government will want to protect that economy, especially when we're looking at tech as the new oil. So I think I understand their position on this.
I asked this question on my last guest when we were talking about a whole bunch of laws signed in California. Sean, do you think big tech companies have a target on their back? I should ask everybody this question. Because there's all kinds of lawsuits, fines everywhere.
Well, so possibly there's some thoughts that they're gaining. They have a whole lot of power, and that power is a threat, and that there's the fear that they will push out small companies out of business, and so that's a major threat. When we look at it, Google and Apple control about 95% of mobile app spending. When it comes to digital advertising, you have Google and I think Facebook controlling about 65% of digital advertising spending, and so that is a huge amount of money and control. So I think that is where the threat is coming from. That's where we can possibly say that maybe there is a target on their backs. But then you have experts actually say that as to whether these antitrust laws will be successful in breaking up this company, that's unlikely, right? And it's a long way to go. Finally,
what do you make of the virtual changing room from Walmart? Innovative? Would you use a virtual changing room to check out? I definitely
will. Yeah? I definitely will. Especially when you ask me in Nigeria if I want to buy from Zara or from ASOS, it's just perfect. I don't have to be in the store. And sometimes, even when you're in the store, you do not want to enter the changing room. Really, you're not sure of the cleanliness of it, and then you just don't want to remove your clothes. You just want to be in. So when I can actually use an image of myself, even better than using a model that looks like me, I think it's something that a lot of people would actually like.
You think this catches on with other retail outlets that would adopt this as well?
Yes. I think we're already seeing Amazon, likes of Amazon, adopt this. I think we'd only see more, especially as more companies are looking for ways to get customers to spend more, especially when people are constrained. There's a squeeze in our disposable income. And so you need to find more innovative ways to get people to actually spend money. So I think that, we'll see more people adopt this. A lot of fashion houses are adopting technology to sell their goods. So I think we'll see more people.
Finally, does this threaten physical shopping? Because it looks like this is yet another boost for e-commerce, so you can just try on clothes, see how it fit, and then have it shipped to your home. Do you think physical shopping comes under threat from all this?
At the moment, probably no.
Okay, so some
folks still like to go to the shops, but as time goes on, I can't say that it wouldn't be a threat in the long run. I really can't say.
Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. Senior Associate at Financial Derivatives Company Limited, Mayowa. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.